Good morning. I'm Elizabeth from the Cochise County Cooperative Extension, and today we're doing our Farmers Market live. So I'm really glad to be back live. Hopefully everyone watched last week's gazpacho. This week I was at the market, and what really kind of struck me was how many winter squashes we're starting to see. So even though our days are still a little bit warm, it is definitely turning into squash season. So I have here spaghetti squash. We used that one a couple weeks ago. Butternut squash, that's what we're going to be using today. And then this last one here is an acorn squash. So I'll put that right back in here. So there's a lot that you can do with winter squashes. We're going to still kind of make a warm weather dish. So we're going to make a kale salad with roasted butternut squash. But you can make soup. You can do stuffed squash. The acorn squash is really good for that. But today we're going to do a kale salad. So to get started, we have our kale. I've started to cut some up here, and we'll cut a little bit more. So this is a really pretty kale. It has a little bit of red on it. And as we've talked about before, different kale has a little bit different flavor. Some are milder than others. So I'm just going to pull off this the bottom part, the hard part of the stem. And I'm just gonna do a handful. And bring my discard bowl a little bit closer. So as you can see, I'm just pulling off that hard part of the stem. And then I'm going to give these a very good chop. So we're going to pick these up, put that in our bowl. And this next part is a really important part of kale salad, massaging the kale. So let me just check my recipe, make sure that I do this right. So 1 to 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And a little bit of salt in there as well if you want. And just get in there and kind of rub the oil and the salt in. Kind of really rub the leaves until the leaves start to get a little dark. And this will essentially break down the kale. Gives it a little, I should say it's very important to wash your hands before we start doing this part. There we go. And I don't know if you can see that really well, but you can see it's kind of, the leaves are a little bit darker, and it kind of is starting to break down, almost like you were sauteing it. So I brought a towel just for this reason. So we're going to set that aside. So the next thing we're going to do is make our dressing. And you can do this kind of however you like. It's really easy to make dressing in jars. So this is actually an old dressing jar that I have handy. So I'm going to make mine right in here. So this recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and then 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. I don't have red wine vinegar. I have white wine vinegar. You could use whatever kind you like. Apple cider vinegar would be really good in this. So we're gonna just put that in there. The only vinegar I would steer clear of is maybe a balsamic, because it has a color and it may change the color of your salad. And then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I have my handy dandy lemon juice here. All right. And we just dump a check again. So 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. If you don't have Dijon mustard, don't worry about it. Maybe if you have like a spicy mustard, that might be kind of good. So kind of whatever you have. If you only have yellow mustard, that would probably work too. So put that in there. And then this particular recipe calls for minced garlic and calls for some fresh herbs. I wanted to kind of mix it up. So I have a favorite herb blend here. I'm going to put just a touch of that in there. And instead of garlic, I have a garlic salt kind of blend here. So I'm just going to put it in there. Make it easy. And then, instead of pulling out a whisk or anything else, just shake that right up in the jar, just like that. And essentially you're emulsifying it, so you're making all the elements go together. So, it smells really good. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but it looks like a nice little salad dressing. So we're gonna set that aside until we're done. Okay, so the squash. So I roasted some butternut squash right here, and how we did that, so I'm gonna do this butternut squash here, is I cut the top off, just like that, and I cut the bottom off, just like that. Those in the discard bowl. And then what I do, because they're so big, I take and I cut it in half like this, and then I cut it in half this way. So you can either wait until it's cooked to peel it, or you can peel it with a vegetable peeler, just like this. Kind of give you an idea how that works. Of course, it might be a good idea to do it while it's still whole, but that kind of tells you how that goes. Set that back aside. And for the seed half, you just kind of cut that in half as well. And then scoop out the seeds. So that will look like this. Just kind of get in there and scoop them out. Now, if you were doing like a stuffed squash, you would leave it just like this, and then put your items right in there. If you were just cooking these, like maybe for a side for dinner, you could put it just like that in a roasting pan, maybe a drizzle of maple syrup, maybe a little bit of cinnamon, that would go really well on there. For mine, for today, I simply put a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper and a little bit of sage. Because despite the heat, I'm feeling kind of fallish today. So we'll just move those right out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and put my roasted squash right in with my kale. Okay, so we need more than kale and squash. So a little bit of red onion goes really well. So this is red onion we got at the farmers market a couple weeks ago. And so what I'm going to do here is I put it in some cold water. If you let your onions sit in cold water for about 10-15 minutes, it takes away some of that umpiness of it. It makes it a little bit more mild. So we're going to put that in our salad. And we also have a carrot that we got at the farmers market. I think that there's not very many carrots right now. They're out of season. They will be back in season. But carrots are one of those things that keep well in our pantry. So if you did buy some, maybe you have some left. Bring this discard bowl back over. So we're going to put a little bit of carrot in our salad. Kids also tend to like carrots quite a bit. So just give that a peel. And I'm just going to grate this a little bit. And my favorite part about this is how carrot goes everywhere. So we have a little bit of grated salad, or grated carrot to go in our salad. Okay, and a very popular part of kale salads in general are dried cranberries. So here I have a 1/4 cup of dried cranberries and a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds. I'm going to put those in there as well. And last but not least, I'm going to have an apple. So you can get apples at the farmers market right now. If you go to our local orchards, you can pick apples or pears. So whatever kind of fruit you like. If you don't have apples or pears, then I wouldn't worry about it. You might have some peaches still, because you can still get peaches at our farmers market. And there's a little soft spot there. So peel the apple. And I'm just going to cut it right in half. And half again. And then I just cut the core out just like that. And you can cut these a lot of different ways. I would cut these kind of like almost like in a matchstick. So give it a, let's see if I can turn this so you can see. Like that. And then I'll take half and kind of give them another little slice. And if you like a lot of apple, go right ahead. Add a lot of apple. And there we go. And then I'm going to now dress it and toss it. We'll bring our dressing back over here. Bring our salad bowl back over. A little bit on there. Give it a good toss. Put the dressing on everything. And I'm going to put just a little more dressing on there. But not too much. You can always add more, you can't take away. So now we're going to put this in our bowl. Make sure you get plenty of the squash. And I'm going to add one more element to this from the farmers market. So I hard-boiled some eggs this morning, and I peeled them because I wanted to spare myself the embarrassment of peeling eggs on camera, because I always struggle. But eggs are a great way to add protein to a salad. So we already have sunflower seeds in there, but you can add a little bit of egg. So for the hard-boiled eggs, I'm just going to cut it in half and then in a quarter again, and then put those on there. The easiest way I've found to hard-boil eggs is to put the eggs in cold water from the tap, put it on the stove, bring it to a boil, and then once it starts to boil, put a lid on it and turn it off. So turn the heat off and let it sit for 15 minutes. And almost every single time you get perfect hard-boiled eggs. So there we go. So I just do want to mention that the kale, the butternut squash, those are both from vendors that do take the WIC vouchers. So they're WIC and the Senior Nutrition Program. And until September 30th, you can use those to purchase Arizona-grown produce from the farmers market. So if you receive WIC or you receive the CSNP, please go see the market manager, and you'll get a coupon book for $30. And if you are a WIC recipient, you will need to bring your card as well as a mobile device that will show your account. And if you're in the Senior Nutrition Program, you just need to bring your card. And you can take advantage of some of the best produce. This is a great time of year. We still have summer produce and we're starting to get the fall produce in. So do that. And then also if you have SNAP, you can use your SNAP benefits on everything I put in this bowl that comes from the farmers market. There is also a vendor that does sell dried fruits, so you can use your SNAP benefits on that as well. And for a while, you can get unlimited double up bucks with your SNAP benefits. So for every $1 you get in SNAP, you get double up bucks for that, and that you can use for Arizona grown produce as well. So please go to the farmers market in Sierra Vista on Thursdays. Find some of these great items that I have here and experiment and see what you can find. So hopefully I might make a soup later today, and you can find that on our YouTube channel. So if you're looking for some more videos, please visit our YouTube channel. That is Cochise County, Arizona Health Zone. And you can find some physical activity videos there as well. So have a great day. Thank you very much, and have a good weekend. Bye.